I'm reminded of, I think, the most poignant scene in Charlie Wilson's war. I served with Charlie Wilson. It was toward the end, and he's talking to the Intelligence Committee, from which he got several $100 million, and they supported the rebels at Mujahideen to get rid of the Russians. He walks back in and he says, now I need a couple $1 million. I want to build roads. I want to build schools. And then look at him like, what? Are you the congressman from Kabul? And he said, yeah. I mean, so you get the military out. Now, how do you start building a value system, and how do you deal with the intellectual and the human needs of a country that's been ravaged by war and are at a pivotal point in their history? Where are they going to go? Well, we didn't fill the vacuum, and the Taliban came in and filled it.
So talk about that for a minute, because I think that's a really interesting point. You know, we're going to hear this from the presidential candidates. The question is getting the Congress to go along. You got 435 representatives, 100 senators. They have to say, yeah.
I think that is historically been the greatest obstacle to developmental assistance as part of any administration. I mean, when Kennedy built the Peace Corps, I mean, but it was such a wonderful idea, but so modest in execution. And I think in the 21st century, when our future, America's future in the 21st century, whether it's our sovereignty, our military relationships, our diplomatic relationships, our economic relationships, we are living in a world that will get progressively more and more interdependent, not less, which means we are more and more vulnerable to pandemics, to terrorism, to just about everything else we used to think we were isolated from in the 19th, 20th century. All the more reason for us to be engaged around the world in addressing human needs.
Clearly, but
that's a tough case to sell to the Congress, but somebody's got to stand up and do it, and that's got to be the President of the United States.
That would appear to be a clear need. And the question is, though, how do you sell that to the Congress when the Congress represents all the multiple interests in the country?
Frank, it's a tough sell, but oftentimes, and it's particularly difficult because the easiest way to undermine it is saying publicly, rhetorically, oh, we have so many problems here, how can we afford to spend $1 billion or $2 billion or $3 billion? That's real money in USA, but at the end of the day, it's far cheaper than sending your soldiers and your sailors and your airmen.